Oh, hello! Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to this week's art block. Huh. Yeah, I think I'm actually set this week. Never normally happens. Anyway, without further ado, let's get cracking because I'm running kind of on time for the first time, ever. So, what are we doing today? Oh yeah, so, I've said so many times now. Whew. What am I talking about? Oh yeah, welcome to this week's art block. I'm Jenny, and I am Inky Paul's Art, and I'll tell you a bit about me and what I do, and the art block itself. So, the art block is a group of people who basically just scope on a Saturday. We have a schedule, and that's put together by the lovely Debbie, and we adhere to that schedule. So yeah. All good fun, and it means that if you search for the hashtag LDCC, you'll find us throughout Saturday and you can watch people making art. The art varies from mixed media to illustration to mosaic, the lot right the way through. And I'll show you how you can get involved if you want to. You don't have to scope to be involved, you can just join the Facebook group or just follow us and share stuff out. Every little helps. As for me, I'm Jenny, like I said before. I am a mixed media artist, and I play with paint. That's pretty much what I do, which is where the name Inky Paws came from. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say, because you'll see what I do in a bit, if you haven't already. So what I'm going to do, whilst I finish getting set up and grab another cup of coffee, because I could really do with another cup, I'm going to pop you guys on the tripod, and I'm going to pop the schedule there. So you can... What's the word I want? I don't know what the word I want is. So you can screenshot it. That's the one! So you can screenshot it if you want. And then we'll get started. So I'm going to go grab a coffee. Oh yeah, I need to put you guys on my tablet. Because when I put you guys... Cool. When I put you guys up on the tripod, I can't see anything because it's above my head height. So I put you guys on my tablet. So give me 2 moments just to do that. Important things. Otherwise I don't keep up with the conversation. Well, actually, to be honest, I'm crap at keeping up with the conversation anyway because I can't multitask. But we can try. So, Periscope, where are you squirreled away? Where have I put you there? Brilliant. See? I'm more alive than last week. I'm calling this a success. Straight off. Let's turn the volume on that right down because there's no point in me listening to myself, really. Actually, yeah, I do listen to myself and I talk to myself, so... Right. Let's do the sensible thing, guys. Let's pop you guys up on the tripod. I am going to show you how to find Little Deb's Creative Crew, and Debs is the person who runs the art block. And also the schedule, but first I need to grab myself a cup of coffee, so let's pop you guys up there and see which way this is wanting to play today, and we'll go from there. Right, see if I can do it without cutting the stream, because last week I cut off the stream and I wasn't very happy with myself. Right, and see if I can flip this so that it's the right way, which is always helpful, because it makes my life a whole ton easier. Nope, it wants to say, yeah, it does want to stay that way. Okay. Never mind, I can't win everything. 1 or 2 would be nice. Right, let's zoom you guys in so you can actually see what goes on and what is going on. There we go. And we're pretty much all set to go. So, I'm going to go grab a coffee. This is where you can find us, so feel free to screenshot. Give me 2 seconds to grab a coffee, and I will return. Okay guys, so I'm going to get cracking in just a second. I suppose I better grab my tablet so I can see. So if you've asked anything or said hello, hello! It is awesome to have you here with me today. I need to grab a paintbrush, or 2 or 3. Where's the one I want? I need to sort them out actually because they're a bit messy. We should do it. Let's have that one as well, just in case. Right. Cool. We will get cracking. Now I actually have half a brain cell and some coffee. Always a good start. So, paintbrushes. I can go down there. Go away, Mr. Paintbrush. You're blocking the view. Okay, tablet needs to go down there so I can see what the hell is going on. Alrighty, I'm ready to rock and roll then. Not doing too badly, I don't think, for me. So, thank you to everyone who's joined us so far. It is awesome, awesome, awesome to have you here. I love doing this every week. I find it really quite relaxing, even if I am a bit scatty. So, if you guys want to get involved, whether it is to just share your art, or whether you would like to scope, no, don't have to, but the option is there. This is where you can find us. Facebook, Twitter, Periscope, Instagram, and it is Debbie that runs it, and she is absolutely fantastic setting this up every single week, because to be honest there are weeks where I've seen her just running around like a headless chicken with it. What are we up to today? Well, every week we have a schedule, so this is this week's schedule. We're running from 7 AM to 11 PM Eastern Standard, which I have no idea what that is in British summertime because I'm in the UK. I just know when I'm on, that's all I pay much attention to. I'm only on the one once this week, so you'll only see me for the 1 hour here on the art block. But if you want to catch up with me, there are other ways. So shift this and we'll come back to it at the end so you can see what's coming up. Now, this is where you can find me if you're interested. I don't scope very often. I only scope on Saturdays as part of the art block. However, I do a couple of Facebook lives during the week, so you can catch up with me there, or my blog, or my Instagram, or Pinterest. I'm all over. Just search for Inky Paws or Inky Paws Art. It's going to be one of those all the way through. So, let us get cracking, my darlings. I can't figure out which way this wants to be. It does want to be. Yeah, that's working. There. Never mind. Anyhow, I'll stop working sideways then. So, if you were on with me last week, I've got a couple of things that I am still working on as part of kind of my art blocky arty thing. So I've got a couple of bits that I want to finish this hour, so we'll see how that goes. So some of you will recognise this lovely, lovely background. Some of you will have seen it being made, some of you won't. Don't worry if you didn't. I do make quite a few of these, so you will see it again at some point, or you'll see something similar. And what I've done with it, because last week we decided we weren't going to do anything with it, it was just going to be left as a background. But I got a bit bored last week and I found this lovely, lovely paper. I'll just grab it. It's scrapbooking paper. And on the B side here, it has this design. And I've just cut out some of the birds and the little berries from the design, and I've collaged them onto here. And these lovely branches are courtesy of Prima Marketing. They are a scrapbook supply, and I've just dyed them up with a slightly darker colour. And yeah, stuck everything down. I've gone around the back with white paint just to make the birds pop a little bit, and I want to just finish this off today. I've only got one last thing I want to do, and that is to pop some sort of slogan on it, some sort of affirmation, that kind of thing. So to do that, and that's the first bit I'm going to do, I have this lovely piece of white shiny card. It's not a heavy card, it's not something you can do watercolour on. I've just spotted somebody joining and I've just missed it as it's flashed up, so hello and thank you for joining. It's awesome to have you here. So it's just a card. This particular one is designed for printing on, so sticking through your printer, and it'll work beautifully. So the other thing I have is some stamps, letter stamps. These were cheap as chips from Amazon. They cost like a $5, which is probably about $7-8. They're just dinky little ones, and they're really, really easy to use. Really good base. Fantastic. And finally, I've got a waterproof permanent ink pad. Because my artwork is never truly finished, having a waterproof ink pad is really, really handy, because then none of my layers shift, or if I chuck stuff at it afterwards, it doesn't move. So, need that too. And the affirmation I wanted to put on here was create magic. So, I'm just going to stamp that up with, now where should we start? We'll start up sort of top cornerish, bottom cornerish. I'll move that around so you guys can see it. So I'm just going to stamp the words that I want. Really simple. But unfortunately it does take a couple of moments for me to do it, because, you know, I'm one person. And unfortunately I can't just fast forward through me working, because I can only work so fast. Helps if I have the right letter. Cobra, eh. That's what I was going for. Create. T. And 3. So yeah, nothing particularly technical about this at all. So create and finding magic, so I need an M. I'm going to work a little further down because I want to cut these out to stick them down. I don't want to just cut it out as one big block. I want it to be the two separate pieces, and you'll see what I mean very, 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 very shortly. So M-A-G I and C again. So let me just pop my letters away, because otherwise it starts to get really confusing when I come back to them later. I get just totally muddled. Well, in all fairness, that's a bit normal for me. L-N-R. Just take a couple of moments. And to be honest, yes, I am saying the alphabet under my breath so I get it right. I am that kind of person. T for tango. Let's go in there. Right, brilliant. Move that to one side and pop that away. So I need to cut them out, so I need some scissors. So you can work far more easily on the smaller piece now. So I want to leave a bit of a border around. And I can take that border down further if I need to later on. But for now, that will do. It just gives me something to work through with whatever. And one across the top there. So let's see. Right, where are we? Fantastic. Okay, so I've got those two, and they are going to go on this very, very, very shortly. Now, there's a couple of last things I want to do around the edge of this, because if I just stick them down like that, that's a bit boring, quite frankly. So what I'm going to do is create a border, and I don't want it to be really straight, really neat. I want it to be a bit higgledy-piggledy, like pretty much everything I do. But I'm going to do just a couple of lines, and this is just a black, it's not even a fine line pen, it's just a black permanent pen. I just want a line down the, I just want to basically box it in, so it's not so bare when I cut it out further. There we go. I could go around it a second time and box it in, and I might just do that, but we'll see. I'll do this on the create first, and then I can make my decision from there. There we go. So that's the initial line. Am I going to do a second line around it? Yeah, let's go for it. Bugger it. Because I can always cut that second line off if I really want to. depending on how close in I go. And this way I get a nice little box all the way around. I'll do the same on my magic as well. There we go. And one more. Okay, now I need to cut those out a bit further because that's quite a heavy white border. So I'll get them taken out a bit further. Grab a swig of coffee as well whilst I'm at it. Yeah, you guys can look at my coffee for a bit. I need it handier than I've got it. Otherwise I'll not drink it. It'll go cold and then I'll be in a huff. Right, so I'm just going to cut the last of that white border off so it's not quite so stark. I'm not cutting right the way back to the white line, but I'm giving myself a bit of space to play with it. There we go. Get rid of the little bits over there. And then, that's a bit of a pain. Come in there. So a little bit of a border, there's not much of one. That's alright. There we are. So nearly there. And then what I'm going to do is what I've heard referred to, and actually it's quite a good word, is audition these. So by audition I mean I'm going to place them on the piece and I'm going to move them around until I'm happy with the location before I stick them down. Because it's so easy to just go, oh well, I'll just pop them there, and it doesn't work. So I can start by putting them down in different places. So create magic at the top there maybe. That actually works quite well. I'm liking these. I come down here over the bird, and actually that I like as well. That's not really useful, that I like everything. Up here maybe. Actually that works quite nicely. But let's see, maybe down there, or maybe over the bottom corner there. So yeah, I'm just going to move them around until I'm a bit happier with the positioning before I stick them down. I don't want them to be necessarily desperately in, and they are stark white, but that's going to make them stand right out rather than blending in, and you know, that's kind of what I want. I don't like it when they hide in the background, so we'll go with that. Let's see. You know what? I actually like that at the top as well. I think I just like the lettering, to be honest. So let's do that. You know when you start doubting yourself that you've spelt something right? Yeah, Emmy. Yeah, I have actually lost the plot completely today, apparently. It's always a good start. So, let's get these poppies stuck down. I wonder. Maybe down the bottom there might work. No, too split. I think part of it is because these are really stark white at the moment. Now I can change it, I can ink over them, but I don't want them to blend into the background, so I am going to keep them with that stark white. And we're going to come probably up here, I'm thinking, you know, I'm liking that more than I am anything else. So to stick them down and get them in place. Hello, I've just seen a few people join, so welcome, welcome, welcome to today's art block. It's awesome to have you here, and I hope you'll continue on with us. So I'm just going to stick these down. Right. So I need a brush. Brush, and I've got some gel medium here. Gel medium is my glue of choice, to be honest. Morning, Joel. Awesome to see you. How are you doing this morning? So just dry my brush off because I don't want to work with a wet brush for this. I'm just going to cover the back. I'm good, thank you, sweetheart. Very good indeed. Having a good day so far. I'm just going to stick them down, and I will go over the top of them with the gel medium as well, just sort of sandwich it in with gel medium. It just helps it stick, means there's no loose edges. There we are. Just quickly go over the top with the paste first. And then I'm going to use my finger and I'm going to burnish it down. And this, I find, really helps things to adhere well, so that they don't start moving around later on. And that was part of the reason I used waterproof ink and a waterproof pen, just so that we don't get black moving everywhere. So just quickly give that a once over. There we go. And that's all I wanted to do with this one. So from the background I was leaving as a background, I've now changed it into a piece of artwork. Woohoo! So that's that one done. All I need to do is just leave this bit to dry at the top here. That's all it needs. Nothing technical, nothing complex. Yeah. Well, hey, one down, couple to go. So move that off to one side. Now, for those of you who were with me last week, and even if you weren't, you'll see what I mean. So I started this last week, and I know it's in a bit of shadow. If I tilt it that way, does that help? Yeah. So you can see all the bits I've put in. I've just glued them down. I've also added some of these, which are called art stones. And what they are, I'll show you them, to add a bit of texture. So we'll move that up to the back there. So these are art stones. They're by a company called Prima Marketing. And basically, they are spoils used in glass making. So these are just a smaller version of these. And they're great for adding texture. They are ridiculously lightweight. Absolutely love these things. And I use a little goes a very, very long way. They're fantastic for adding texture. So I've just added some of those around the area. So like just around the edge here in the back. I only added them this morning, so it's not quite dry. So I'm going to get some of these moving as I paint and play with them. That's okay. I can come back. The paint will help stick them down. It's not a big drama. But I do need to make this a bit more cohesive, because right now it's all a bit higgledy-piggledy. It's all a bit of a mishmash of stuff. Now, I like a mishmash, but it needs to become more cohesive. So what I'm going to use for that is the wonders of black gesso. One of my favourite products on the entire planet. So gesso, if you don't already know, comes in three colours. You've got white, you've got black and clear. And it just adds a bit of grit and a bit of grip to it. But also, it's matte and it is really quite opaque stuff. Especially this. So I'm going to stick a little bit out. You don't need lots of this one. And what I want to do, I don't want to cover everything and make it just black, because I've got this paper at the background and I really like that. Likewise with this copper down here. I love this. So I don't want to cover it up too much. However, I do need to make this more cohesive. So that's what this black gesso is going to do. So I need, first of all, a brush. And I'm going to dry it off because I don't want to add a lot of water to this. I've got paper in the background there. So the more water I add, the more it's going to damage the paper. Even though that's sealed in with gel medium, it's still going to add to it. So a little bit of black on my brush. And I'm going to dab it off to the side here. And this is just so I get a finer layer. I don't want heavy layers in here, because you can build up layers quite comfortably, but once it's dried you can't, well, it's very difficult to take it away. So I'm going to start with the heart in the middle, and I want to come, because I've got the skull on top of it, I need to just come in from the edges to make sure I go under it as well. And you can see we're starting to pick up the texture down the bottom here. I'm just going to keep doing that. And I do want this to be, I don't want it to be a heavy layer, like I say. I want to be able to come back in as and when I need to. And because it's not fully stuck down and dry yet, I do need to just take my time with it a bit more than I might normally. It's not an idea to rush it, but it's going to give me a cohesive background to work on later on. So, and all I can do with it, well, all I need to do with it is just keep turning it and just keep dabbing on the paint into the different areas that I've got. Come on. And just trying to make sure I cover as much as I can. And as you can see, some of these stones are starting to come off, and that's purely because, well, two things. One, not necessarily as much gel medium as they could have done with, but also I only did it about half an hour ago, so they haven't had a great deal of drying time. The longer they get in drying time, the more likely they are to stick. And just down into these little circuit boards down here. So hopefully you can see these. These are actually little circuit boards, the little squares at the background. Now they are very 3D, so I need to scrub with my brush a bit to get into the cracks and all the nooks and crannies that come with them. So it's the one bit of mixed media I really struggle with, is to get into all these nooks and crannies. I don't know why I struggle with it so much. Probably because I'm not patient, to be honest. And because I'm not patient, it doesn't help. So let's make sure I'm in as many nooks and crannies as I can. And I'm going to paint up the edges in a bit as well, just to get everything together. So I'm going to try and avoid a couple of different areas here, just to make my life easier later on, because I can pull some of this back whilst it's wet. So I just need to be maybe not so heavy-handed as I might normally be. I don't know what's up with the signal today. It's been ridiculous. It keeps dropping out. So if you guys keep dropping out, I am sorry. For some reason, my signal is playing funny buggers. You're not the only one being driven mad by it. Let's see how we go. So I'm just coming to the edges here and just stippling on. And I'm going to turn it again so I can see where I'm going and what I'm doing. So this is just the first layer. There will be more layers of black added to it, but I just want to get an initial layer down now. And it also helps these art stones shift and move about, and they will settle down into wherever they want to be. The paint will help them stick a bit more as well. Should have given them a bit longer to dry, to be honest, but I didn't. Okay, and now into this bottom corner here. This is where it's going to be an utter pain to do, because I want to try and keep the copper. Why is this playing funny buggers with focus? I have no idea. Yeah. Try flipping it around again. Right, let's see if we can get the focus back. That's a bit better. It's been driving me mad today. It's been driving me mad for the last couple of days. So, down here, I want to try and keep this copper if I can, which means I have to be a little bit careful around this piece, because I'm going to get some of the black on the copper. It will come off with a bit of scrubbing and a bit of jiggery pokery, but the heavier the layer of gesso, the harder that is to do. So I want to try and get this bit done first, scrub under there. This is how I ruin so many brushes so quickly, because I've got these art stones which are collecting in the bristles, but also because I scrub with them. So I'm just going to come down into this little corner here. I'm going to turn it so I can see what I'm doing, and then I'm going to come up the edges. So, and when I say up the edges, I mean just the inside edges here. I'm just going to paint them. However, I do need to take some of the art stones out. Oh God, so you can't see that. Never mind. Apparently, it's not my day with focus and such like. No, that's better. Clean a brush with fewer art stones in. And start with that. So I'm going to paint the sides, the edges of the box. I have some plans for this at a later date, but right now, I just want to get it covered so it can sit, so that it can dry off. And don't worry, I will post photos of it in the group once I am done. Right, just around that edge. I will do the outer edges later, but right now I'm just focusing on the inside piece of this. Come on. Now, I'm not too worried about getting into every nook and cranny around here. It's not vital for this. just because of what I'm planning on doing with it later. I'm planning on adding some texture pastes up the sides of this, but again, you might see that, you might not, but I'll do it on a Facebook Live event, so if you wish to tune in, you'll be able to. Alright, get in the corners here. And then I'm going to move on, because I know this one is really difficult to see on Periscope. Actually, it's really difficult to see unless I've got the main lights on. So, back there. Right, so what I've done, I've covered a good chunk of this in black gesso. Just give it the layers that it needs. I can come back to it later, but I want to let that dry, because if I keep working it now, I'm going to lose. I'm just going to spread the gesso around, and that's not what I want to do. I want to kind of build up some layers with it. So I'll clear myself a bit of space there. I'm just going to pop that to one side. Oh, hello, my darling. Nice to see you here. So, clear a bit of space. Let's crack on with the next one I want to do. Okay. So this is a new piece for me. This is a trial piece that I really fancy doing. Now this is a mini canvas board. It's nothing special, it is just a canvas board. Nothing precious. But these are the kind of things I use, firstly because of space constraints, but also because they're great for trialing things out, trying different techniques, whatever, on them. So let's just take this out of its packaging. So it's already prepped and ready to rock and roll. Now what I want to do with this is build up stripes. It will become a mixed media piece at the end of it, but right now I'm just working on the background for it and the basis for it. So I've got my gel medium, let's say my preferred glue of choice. I have, when I can find it, yeah, I have quite a lot of washi tape here, and I'm going to pull out some of the more plain ones, so I want to take out the really brightly coloured ones first of all. Yeah, I think luminous pink counts as bright somehow. Right, take out the red. Actually, I think it's going to be the birds, to be honest, but I'll keep that one right out. So these are all a mixture of just tapes that I have collected over the years. Thankfully, paper tape and washi tape are really easy to get hold of these days, which is fantastic. Really happy about it. Let's see, what else have we got? Swig of coffee, because that's important too. So I've got those two. The other things I want to pull out are packaging and, hang on, where are you gone? That one. I had everything handy last night and it's just not playing ball today. There we go, gotcha. So, and I've got a couple of papers as well. I also have some lace, but I'm going to come on to that probably later on. Sorry for the rustling. So this is really thick lace, and it literally would cover the entire thing, but I can use that in strips and cut it down a bit. Why is this cutting out? God damn it. One of those days. But I can cut it into strips, I can use it as is, you know. I can come on to that a bit later. So first things first, creating a background of sorts. That's really quite straightforward. I just want to glue stuff down. So I need some strips of paper. I've got the washi tape. I'll get these cut into strips. So it's not quite 15 by 15, but the strips will help. And I'm not looking for anything that's exact or really die straight. It's just a case of cutting some strips so that they look reasonable. Straight-ish. I'm not a precise person at the best of times. Although I could do without my connection playing funny buggers with me. Never mind. So, sorry if you are experiencing any stuttering with this. My connection's been playing funny buggers for a couple of days and it doesn't want to let me be live at the moment for some reason. But yeah, anyway, just cut a few strips. I don't need loads of them. I'm going to do the same with this teal. For those of you that have seen me before, yes, I do have a bit of an obsession with teal. Especially mixing it with other colours like pink. But I don't want lots of this. I want to keep it quite a plain background, so I'm only going to cut 3 or 4 strips of this, and that's all I'm going to use throughout the entire thing. So we'll pop that to one side for now. Now, because it's 15 by 15, it's not a big piece of big canvas. I'll pop those to one side. So I've got my washi tape, I've got my strips. I'm just going to start sticking those down once I have a clean brush, because the one is absolutely covered in black paint. Yeah, I'll deal with that one later. Bugger it. Okay, so paintbrush, I'm just going to start at the top and give it a layer. Now, the reason I'm using, I've got pink on this one. Right, take it from me, guys. Seriously, wash your brushes. Don't do what I do and don't bother, because then you wind up smearing pink everywhere. But anyhow, I digress. The reason I am using a glue with washi tape is washi tape has a habit of not adhering effectively. It doesn't have the best adhesive ever. So I want a strip of that, and just by putting the glue on top of it and under it, make sure that it's going to stick for you. There is nothing worse than getting halfway through a piece and part of your work just going, actually I don't want to stick anymore, and peeling off. Especially when you're working on top of it, you know, it's just infuriating. I'm also going to wrap the washi tape around the edges. I just find it easier than cutting it off. So just wrap that round and stick it down. Very scientific and technical, isn't it, today? But I know I'm project jumping, and it's just so I can let stuff have the time it needs to dry, rather than sitting with the heat gun on for most of it. So a layer of paper, and I will wrap this round as well. So I turn it over in exactly the same way as I did before, a little bit to help stick, and just pull it round. It's almost like wrapping a present, I suppose. And a layer of medium on top of it just to help the adhesion. Okay, next one. There we are. Okay. I'm just going to make sure I press that down. I've got glue in the edges as much as I can. And I just need to basically keep going until I reach the bottom. See? Very technical, very difficult, isn't it? You can do it with entirely washi tape as well if you like. You don't have to layer paper in there. I like layering paper in, which is why I do it. And we don't just wrap them round. What I think I'll do, I'll finish off the back later. This is actually gel medium gel. It's my preferred type of adhesive, but you can just use glue. You can use glue stick for it because, you know, it's lightweight, but a heavier glue will help just because it's this is canvas. Washi tape, it's paper tape. It is literally a paper tape, so rather than it having a plastic cover, it's one that you can just rip without needing scissors. It's actually a Japanese one. Washi tape is a Japanese thing, but there you go. You can get it in a lot of the shops now, which is quite handy if you're me. Let's have another layer of the birdies. I like the birdies. I have a stamp with this on as well. I'm a little bit addicted to these. There we go. Let's just keep building that up. So yeah, I'm just going to build layer upon layer upon layer, and I'm going to try and offset these a bit, because otherwise the birds are just going to look exactly the same all the way through, and that's not ideal. Come on. This particular tape has pretty good adhesion, you can tell because it's taking my brush with it. However, push that down. Yeah. There we go. Now, let's get some teal in. Nice pretty colours. Oh, plenty of time for me to do this. Cool. So, again, fold it round. Just a bit of glue on the back just to help it stick down. And I can see people joining again. Hello, nice to see you. See you nice. So with a mouthful of paintbrush. Okay. And I'm just going to work my way down, doing this on. And thanks for the hearts, guys, I do like them. So next bit. Okay. I'm not doing a very good job of keeping up with the conversation today. Let's just get this glued down. Hey guys, welcome to anyone who has just joined. I've just seen quite a few faces, so good to have you here. There we go. And then just moving on to the next bit. Okay. Now, once I've got to the bottom of this, I will have to leave it to dry because I've got it kind of sandwiched. And you guys know what I'm like. If I don't leave things to dry, it just winds up everywhere. Okay, so another layer of that. Yeah. Ooh. There we go. That's better. You're kidding me. It's 20 to 6 in the morning where you are. Yuck. It's like it's 1 PM here. I could not do that early, SJ. That's just mental. So not an early bird at all. Not even in my wildest dreams. There we go. So another one of those. Yeah, and just around the edges so that I can just pull it back. Yeah, I'm in the UK. 8 AM for you, Joel. Ugh. That's still too early for me. Not just anything before about 9 AM. You're all putting times up that are just far too early to exist. They're just ridiculous times a day. Ugh. Okay, let's turn that round so it's not exactly the same. See, 2:45 is a reasonable time of day. 2:45 in the afternoon, that I can deal with. That's sensible. There we are. Let's have another bird. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Needs a bit more glue down here. Thank you for the hearts, guys. I do like them. Thank you, SJ. Most of mine is quite random, to be honest. Right, let's move that along a bit. Yeah. There we go. Just pull that down. There we are. Nearly at the end here. Right, so what I'm going to do this bit, I'm going to start at the bottom with my next bit, and I'm going to add a strip of this paper tape, this particular washi tape, if I can find the end, which is, come on, there. What inspired me to create this style? I tend to bounce around with things. I saw somebody had used birds on, it was Pinterest yesterday, and I was just like, right, I have to try something with the birds. I just have to. And that's where this kind of came from, was just, I need to try something that incorporates the birds and a lot of stripes. But see, I've got so much paper tape, it's ridiculous. But I do use it, in all fairness. So, this bottom bit I'm going to wrap around. There we are. And I'm going to treat it as though I'm making it like wrapping a parcel, just around the edge here. So, let's push that down and pull that round. There we go. And I can cut the edges if I need to. There we go. Just a quick layer there. So, and that way, it's just a bit easier to get the wrap done. Yeah, like a parcel, like a box, like a present. It's exactly what I mean. I wish the focus would make its mind up on this. It's driving me mad today. Is your son's girlfriend British too? There we go. And then my last strip, I'm going to use this. I'm going to turn around, just upside down. There we go. And then it means I can just place this strip quite comfortably, and I've got enough space to do it. Right, flip that over. Okay, the edges there. I love the UK too, especially when it's like this. Today it's nice and quiet. It's overcast, but it's not blisteringly hot or raining, so I'm really happy today. Brighton's lovely. Brighton is absolutely gorgeous. I've been down there a couple of times. Oh, wish I had a house down there. But yeah, you're right, Brighton is absolutely beautiful. I don't blame you for coming every winter. It's gorgeous down there. Right, so that's that done. What I'm going to do, I'm going to add a layer of just glue over the top just to make sure everything is keyed in. I really could do with a bigger brush than this, but I don't have one at the minute. And all this is going to do is make sure everything is sealed, that I've got all the edges down, that hopefully, she says, nothing's going to peel. So press this down, and I use my fingers for this bit. Your fingers are, without doubt, the most dexterous tool you have. So let's do this. And just make sure that the glue's in any nook and cranny, that any gaps are filled and nothing's going to come up. There we go. So that's that. I will be doing some more for it, more with it, but I need to let the glues dry, because the more you work on something, the more likely it is that your glue's going to start moving or the layers underneath start to shift. So we'll pop that to one side and we shall shift on. Woo-hoo. So what I'm planning on doing with this is having a focal point in the middle, but this is going to be my background piece. So I'm quite pleased with that, actually. I'm liking it. That's working well for me. Right, guys. Oh, quick stretch. And we'll do a quick clear up before we move on. See you in a bit, Kathy. Right. So quick clear up, mainly so that I don't get glue absolutely everywhere on everything else I do. So get rid of that, move all of those. And where have I got them? Baby wipes, the way forward. Give things a bit of a clear up here. Thank you for the hearts, guys. I do like to see hearts. And also because I've been using black. Do you come near Park Lane 55? I don't know. There we go. So, quick bit of space. I knew what you meant, hun. I don't know, I just like Brighton as a whole. I tend to be in the city centre. I don't know whereabouts, but I just like it. Lush place. Okay, so for the last few minutes, because we've got like 10 minutes left, I've got this, which you may or may... Oh, is it city centre? I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can actually see this piece. It's one I started doing last week. In the Park Lane 55, yeah. Yeah, I'm with you now. Come on, zoom out. This piece was really... honestly, it's been the biggest pain in the neck to make. The background was originally just way too dark. It was just ridiculously dark. So yeah, then added some lighter colours. I've added some more of the tape, and then I added these last week. Cut these out last week. So it needs a bit of depth to it. So this is where I need to take a deep breath and be a little bit brave, because I love it, but these need a bit of depth around the edges. And this is where I'm going to be like, oh, is it going to work? Is it not? If it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. It can be changed. So I've got some Payne's Grey here. For those of you that don't know, Payne's Grey is like a really dark, dark blue. Yep, exactly. Deep breath and go for it. So I'm just going to put a little bit out, because this stuff is potent, and I'm using a really small brush. The reason I'm using a really, really small brush is just so that I can get right into the edges around here. I'm going to start in the middle, and it's a drier brush. I haven't made it wet. I just want to come in around the edges just to add a bit of depth to it. And it is just really light, so that I know you guys can barely see it, and I'm sorry, but it's the easiest way for me to build it up without it going really deep too soon. Really deep, really dark too soon. Oh, you guys know what I mean. I've also got a crackle paste on here as well. So the other thing that's dark, exactly, that was the point, is to try and make it pop a bit more, because all they were doing is just sitting there looking like I've just stuck them down. And, you know, that's okay, but I want a bit more to it. There we are. So just keep going around these with my dry brush. And the nice thing is, because I've got the crackle paste under this as well, you get even more depth because the paint just draws into the cracks. I'll put it on camera because it doesn't show up well on video, but it does show up well on photographs. So if you check out the group afterwards, you'll see it. You'll see exactly what I mean. Just around the edges here. There we go. Yeah, that's better. I'm liking that. I wasn't sure whether the blue would work or whether it would need to be a brown. But no, blue works. I'm liking it. Come around here. So, yeah. The nice thing is, because I'm working on layers and layers and layers, I get a bit of playtime with the paint as well. It's not a case of it's instantly dry, it's instantly absorbed in. You know what? I wish I could photograph this now for you guys, because you can really see the crackle. I love this so much. See, it's always worth taking a risk. The worst that's going to happen is you don't like it. The best that's going to happen is it works and you go, woohoo! Which is what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm going to finish this off. I can't believe it. A full-time artist? No, I'm not. My day job is actually corporate, but if I could leave it and just do art full-time, I so would. I'm working on it. I am working on it. Because quite frankly, corporate just bores me. I don't care who screwed who at the weekend. I don't like the office environment very much, so the sooner I'm out, the happier I will be. There we go. Yeah, I need to try something different with this as well. Not with this piece exactly, but what I've got, if you were with me last week, I put a crackle paste over this. So this entire section has crackle paste. Thank you very much, honey. One day at a time. And what the blue's actually doing is seeping into the cracks, and oh my god, it looks amazing. So I need to try that with something later on. So I'll be getting some crackle paste out in a bit. But yeah, one day at a time, and every single day I'm a step closer to leaving the corporate world and being a full-time artist. And teaching people to make art and teaching people to use the process of art, because, to be honest, it's the bit I enjoy, isn't so much the finished piece. I like the process. I enjoy trying new things. I enjoy figuring out if it's going to work or not, and just playing around. There we go. Just turn that round just to make my life a bit easier. So I can come in here. And sorry if I'm not keeping up well with the conversation. I'm not very good at multitasking, even at the best of times. Definitely different. I think my style is very much a mixture of just messing, well it is, it's playing around with paint. Because that's what I do, I play around and find something I like, find something that works, great. And if it doesn't, I chalk it up to experience and go, well that didn't work. Such is life. Let's finish this bit off. Oh, a little bit further than I wanted. But yeah, I need to stick a photo of the way this crackle paste is working for working with the blue on that on the forums later. So I'll stick it in the Facebook group, or you can see it on my page, whichever. But yeah, slightly obsessed with this now. I'm going to have to do that on a bigger scale. Every time this blue goes into one of the cracks in the crackle paste, I'm just screaming. Oh crikey, Tammy, you're up early. Thank you for the heart, sweetie. So yeah, it will be up on Facebook. What I try and do is put in pretty much everything that I can that I've been working on, just like where it is. Oh, I don't blame you. I will want a nap in probably about an hour. Let's see. There we go. Getting some good pop here. Right guys, so before I go off, I'm going to finish this off in a minute, because I want to tell you a couple of things about the ArtBlock and where you can find me, because we're approaching the end of my hour. So, if you want to find me, this is where you can find me. I do the ArtBlock most Saturdays, I should say, and I try and do a couple of Facebook Lives each week, depending on how temperamental Facebook Live is being. This is where you can find me. Steph's up next, Tammy. So, here's the schedule. Steph's up next, then SJ, then Kathy, then, yeah. Screenshot it, join in. If you're struggling, use the hashtag LDCC and you'll find us quite happily, anyone that's going on. So, yeah, this is what we've got for the day. And finally, if you want to see anything else, like the finished pieces, come and find us on Facebook, and that's where I'll be posting my finished piece. or my finished pieces, or where I'm up to for the day. Yeah, thank you very, very much, Tammy. That's brilliant. Okay, guys, I am going to take a stretch and go and refill my coffee in just a second. Oh, there we are. Come on, back to me. Thank you very much, SJ. Right, thank you so much for staying with me for the last hour, guys. I'm going to refill my coffee and finish painting blue on that. I'll take a couple of photos of everything I've been up to. Hey, sweetheart. And I will pop them in the Facebook group. So yeah, if you want to see exactly what I've been up to today and where they are when I finish this scope, then check out the Facebook group. And then if you have a look at my Facebook page, whenever everything's finished, that's where it goes. Whew. Right, I need coffee. Tammy, you need to take the kids to Scouts, and SJ, I'm sure you just said you needed a nap. So, SJ's on at 11, is it? No, 10. 9 till 10 for SJ, and then 5 till 6 Eastern. Right, guys, I'm going to go get coffee. Oh, God, that's evil. Right, I will see you guys later. Thank you for joining, and thank you for the hearts, and thank you for keeping me company. Take care, guys. Have a fantastic, fantastic day.